months, periods of time, so on and so forth. You know the deal, I'm sure at this point. But yeah, fantastic players have had some fantastic ideas for decks and are refined to the point where we've got some solid matching and solid games going on, able to take Joven out in a very surprising turn of events. And, I mean, granted, Joven was playing with his starter deck, which was absolutely hilarious. Just shows how skilled he is, that he's capable to go that far after a long break, and with, like, literal... the deck that most people consider to be absolute hogwash. But that's enough about that. We are diving into this big battle where the splatter color screen used very effectively as a defensive measure to block out DblCookies from being able to go onto the offense. It's still possible, but it would be an incredibly tough feat to do. There's no card currently in Cookie's hand that would enable such a push. Kozun is actually not too far from being able to, but just that little bit too far away. That said, with the middle drawn out as it is, perfect time, perfect opportunity to go for some deck or basic building. I believe that was the spot for the Steel Eel that just got stolen away by that Wiper. Nice catch by Lucky, but even then, looks like DblCookies is slightly in the lead, is poised to go in for an offensive action here. If Lucky isn't playing into that space, has to pass. That means that forcing DblCookies to have to make this play might actually be detrimental to her, as now it is his opportunity to wreak some havoc, maybe do some overwriting. He might get a refund on his specials if Lucky isn't careful. With how she sets up this next card. Oh, she's gonna go for her own disruption. Missing out on that forge space entirely, as DblCookies maximizes his point gain from that play. Surprised she didn't go for that forge space at all. Just like, oh, I guess she couldn't position herself to be able to, maybe? Nonetheless, still a pretty solid, a decent play, but not as impactful as DblCookies' offense. And as we're heading into our final few turns, it's looking pretty favorable for DblCookies, able to get to that 3 special point requirement. Not anymore, the Octopod stealing it away. He still has a solid chance though, as all he has to do is pass, and has a 16-point lead. Lucky, despite that amazing catch, I don't think she's going to be able to bring this one out, and this one is going to be DblCookies' game. She has to have some phenomenal play, some kind of move to be able to score a lot of points and build up the special to kind of keep her tempo going. All she's got is the Tri-Slosher, which means the splatter screen is coming out, and it's it's almost perfect. DblCookies being like, yeah, that's 1 point off, 2 points off of perfect. He's looking for more points. He has such a lead that he doesn't need anything more than that. But what's to stop a man from trying? Am I right? Am I right? He wants those points. He wants the biggest lead possible to make the biggest message. But we're just going to have to settle for this. A nice 5-13 for the Octo Bomber, but that's not really going to do it in a situation like this. Especially with how perfect that splatter screen was. It's just so many points, so impactful. Just completely annihilates that field. And that is going to be game 1 going to DblCookies. Very strong plays overall, just got that base building really set in, had a good middle ground, covered up a lot of space quickly. And despite being stopped from making an initial push, Lucky was unable to stop DblCookies from being able to fully push in with a very nice steel eel. Followed up by the splash mob that Zipcaster just not really doing it at all there. Not having the same impact that DblCookies had just the turn before. Sometimes the best call is not to go for the Uno reverse card. Sometimes it's not going to work out the way you're wanting. Heading into our next round, it looks like Lucky has taken us to squared squared. We've seen this stage a lot more this tournament than we have in previous affairs. There's a good couple of spots for that we can take out. It's just making sure that the position is set up to be able to reach and utilize those spaces. But yeah, no, huge space. No barriers to kind of divide or set up the rules. So it's up to the players to decide how they are going to mold this map to their liking. And right now we're already seeing some really good combos coming in. Lucky building up a special. Has two other pieces very cleanly set up. I imagine there's a Drizzler or something of the sorts that will allow Lucky to fill in that corner spot of Joe. And then there's always going to be a Tennis Tech, which is meant to work with Shiver. Trying to go in for the offense, but Captain is going to block it out. Making sure that DblCookies still has all of his space, a lot more room to be able to continue his base building combos. Would the Koizuna be able to get some... No. I don't think there's enough space for the Dowsers to combo with the Koizuna right now. Trying to break in from the other side, but only granting the Dowser dualies a special. An excellent catch for DblCookies. All that is left now of the field is that middle area. Splash Mob could come in. Would grant another special, which... Oh, that also grants another special. Probably does a little bit more disruption, so I kind of like that idea more. Especially since we're seeing some good combo options for the Splash Mob elsewhere. Does decide to go for the Splash Mob instead, though. Maybe looking for a little bit more opportunity to fill in that middle area, or... I mean, the Reflux does have some combo tools that are in the deck still, so making the call to kind of hold it out and find those pieces. Or... Are we looking for the offense? Nah, it doesn't fit anymore. You lost your chance. But that is, I believe that spot is still perfect for a Drizzler if Lucky has one. And if she does, it would actually deny the special from DblCookies piece. But we are going for a Rapid Blaster instead. Gets the special off of Joe. Misses out on its own, but it does grant DblCookies his special. And comboing with this Tentatek. Only gonna get one special out of this, but there's a nice little card that you can see in the top there that will grant two of those specials. Not gonna be able to combo with the Tentatek, but I mean, Tentatek has to be used in some manner to grant a special here. And I don't think it will actually combo that well with the Dowser Dualies right at this point. There's the special to go with the Shiver. Lucky only 5 points behind. Currently 2 special in the lead. Ooh, that is a beautiful toy to kind of get more special. That's only going to grant 2 special. Well, the other one only grants 2 special as well. So it's kind of a... That is... Is that the best call? I guess it is because it's just the faster move to make rather than waiting things out. Especially when we've got the splatter screen coming in for disruption, trying to wait it out. Actually would have been destructive for DblCookies. But now it's his turn to go in on a response. trying to find something with the reflex, I feel like it's better just to hold things out, or, yeah, it's hold things out at this point. We're moving into the final 3 turns. Any hyper-aggressive play will be easily punished. So, he just wants to make sure that there is enough time for him to make his big combos without necessarily locking himself down. Saw a good Kozuna. That's a really good triple splashdown. I don't know if it'd be a good idea to play it right now, as opposed to another turn. But he is going to go for it right now. Has to have a play here, otherwise he's kind of an unoptimal pattern coming in. If he goes for the Ultra Step, that is a whole extra turn that Lucky has to fully respond to the situation. Yeah, I don't know. I think he's gonna have to pass this next turn, because it is the Dowser Duelist that it is the last draw. And there's... Oh, there is a spot! Oh, it does fit there. Then I stand corrected. That is the optimal course of action. And will it be enough? It is absolutely enough. Even without those dualies, Cookies had such a massive lead that he is now 2-0 against Lucky. 1 win away from just taking this entire bracket. With a beautiful, clean sweep. All he needs is one more win to claim the 72-27. And to do that, he has to be able to beat Lucky in over the line. Which stands to possibly be the last stage, the last map of this tournament. Had a pretty solid hand, looking for something a little bit more. This hand works out pretty well too. We do have a nice combo cleanly set up. That's going to be 4 special within 2 turns that Cookies can have. Could go with the Marina, though that's not going to grant the 4th. Oh no, it does. Yeah, it just grants all 4 special. Very clean and straightforward. And that leaves the Reflux as a beautiful offensive tool. Trying to find the best way to offense through this, as both players break through their opposing sides, looking to cause some disruption, cause some piercing. We do have the Tri-Strainer into Reflux combo still available. That would have to be the only place to be able to get that double set up. But is that interrupted? I don't think it's interrupted. Yeah, no, that's safe. It just barely fits. And I imagine DblCookies is making the wise call here, recognizing the odds that Lucky has anything planned to fill that spot is like none. So you can wait it out and just go for your own effect, some other plays. Try to fill up a bit of Lucky's space, cause some more damage. Chooses to go for it now, likely recognizing that the boss combo was coming. And we're about halfway through, and we are already coming to the point where we're running out of spaces to fill. Captain is no longer playable. There is a very clean place for the Exap to grant a special off of that Clash Blaster. That the only question is, does Cookies actually want that? And yes, he does. Lucky getting her own special, but it is still a 9-point lead in DblCookies' favor. Just looking to fill up space now. We're dropping the Ultra Stamp, and it is no longer going to be a perfect Ultra Stamp as 2 points are taken away. Probably actually better for DblCookies than if it went the other way. You just go up there. You just go up there. As now, Lucky is probably going to be significantly less tempted to go for the... If she has her own Ultra Stamp, to go for that punish play. Because it's... I mean, it's still very valuable, but instead of 24 points being claimed, it's only going to be 20 points. which she does have the point lead, so it might still be a good move to make, but we'll have to kind of see how this pans out in the next few turns. Couple of good hero shot positions, which would allow for a 312 as the final move, or the Little Judd, all else lacking. DblCookies is gonna surrender instead, just having a feeling that there was no way that he was gonna bring things back. And that is Lucky claiming a very fortunate win, keeping herself in the tournament. But now we're moving into DblCookies stage picks here. He gets to go wherever he wants. Within logic, of course. There's a few bans available, but free enough that he chooses to put the pedal to the metal. And we're heading to another very, very chaotic stage. If over the line is Special Haven, pedal to the metal is just like the gold mine version of that. You start with 6 special, you have so many opportunities to build power. This is a very greedy play, considering how uninteractive it really is in the field. Like, yeah, you get the 1 special, you don't have anything to really work with here. I feel like that's immediately put Cookies in the back heel for this game. Joe definitely didn't help. Lucky had a really strong first draw, but now he's making some difficult calls and they don't seem effective. I think he's lost. I think he's kind of lost too much tempo. It took too long to go around Joe. Rather than taking the time to try to respond to or catch whatever Lucky had going, he went for a special point. Yeah, he absolutely threw that one. And that is going to be a sudden victory for Lucky here. Just absolutely destroying DblCookies in that 4th game. Meaning that Lucky actually does have a chance to cause a bracket reset as we head back to over the line. It's all on DblCookies on whether or not he can make the right calls, the right shots, because that previous game just did not work for him. Didn't have the greatest of hand, but also just kind of that steelhead push was so ineffective. Going for a defensive Ultra Stamp here, I'm curious? It's actually not a bad call. It's probably better than a lot of the other options that he could make. Going for a, very defensive Ultra Stamp just to ensure that he's able to get his combo pieces played. One often being able to make that reach. The Splash Mob will allow the Steelhead to work. And we're all expecting the defense from Lucky here. You block me, I'm gonna block you now. But Steelhead does have that perfect reach to be able to get in still. And now it's a good time to make that kind of play. Where there's not too much Lucky can do to oppose it, or to challenge or fight DblCookies' space. So he's very safe to be able to play around with this middle field, try to set things up so he can maybe go for a push later, or cause some disruption. Lucky is very likely to be poised to go for her own push right away. I really like that Steel EO position because I imagine Lucky is going for a special at this point. You kind of just need to recognize that you can't dawdle here, because there's a very real chance that if DblCookies dawdles here and just kind of putzes about, takes his time with this, Lucky is going to just kind of tear into his space Especially with how quick she just played that card. You know she's up to something. Goes for the wide reach, and the Little Judd actually going to be able to block it. A phenomenal placement there. Allowing DblCookies to actually maximize his environment and build up even more special. All he needs is 10 to tech to get 4 special now, which absolutely fantastic. Really solid play. Just barely getting away from utter decimation. Nishi, he doesn't have a 10 to tech. Yeah, he has to play the Octopod as a special to get his special points back. Not the most optimal, but it's a play to make. It's better than passing, and he gets a lot more special out of it too. Sometimes you can't argue with those kind of traits. You just have to recognize this is the play to make. This is what's gonna work. A hefty amount of points are going to be taken away with this Gold Dynamo Roller. Lucky likely looking around trying to find an equal play of her own to be able to make. But it is... I don't know, DblCookies base isn't as like readily available. I mean, he does have a good spot in the middle that is quite open to being attacked. And this bottom shot will be filling up some of that space. But the lead DblCookies has is only widened, and the two are tied for special. Which means that unless Lucky gets some, she can't really get a phenomenal play because her specials that she'd try to combo off of are in her base. So it's very much, she has to get a huge amount of points off of this next play and then be able to play her 312 as her final move, while DblCookies is trying to maximize play off of this E-Leader 4K of all choices. I feel like he could absolutely make the crack-on work, get a special out of it too. Like, all he needs is a single special off of the crack-on, and he'd probably gain more points off of it too. But forced to pass because he spent too long deliberating. He has to play the crack-on now. It's his only chance. Lucky in the lead by 2 points. This crack-on absolutely has the opportunity for point gain to be enough. Yeah, see, if he just turned it around there, that would have been a fantastic play the previous round. But he focused too hard on that E-Leader. He's going back to the E... He loses. He immediately loses if he goes for the E-Leader. It's not worth enough points. He's already 2 points behind. The 312 is 1 point more. He needs a perfect E-Leader to be able to win. It has to be the crack-on. It has to be the crack-on. It's just worth so much more. Crab Tank coming out. Who is going to be able to walk away? Do we get a bracket reset? Or is this tournament over? A very weak Crab Tank, and that extra heft from the Power Climb is going to be enough. DblCookies will walk away just barely with 5 points. The winner of the 72-27. Congratulations. Excellent showing. Great play. Phenomenal save.